I'm Nair.
And I'm Bello.
And this is Perspeculative.
And today we're going to be discussing a quickfire review
on My Happy Marriage, Season 2.
Dose.
Mm-hmm. So before we started watching it, what did we think?
Yeah, going into it, I definitely thought that the Emperor was going to be the big bad for Season 2. And it didn't really pan out that way.
Mm-mm. And I didn't think they were going to lean into the grotesquerie thing as much as they did. I thought it was kind of going to be a continuation of the way that the first one went, but I guess her Cinderella story kind of finished, as it were, and it was still more of her growing and them getting closer, but it really, really leaned into the grotesquerie thing and the battling and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely thought that Season 2 was going to be sort of a climactic, her and the Emperor in the dream world, Star Wars-esque, like, what does Emperor Palpatine say? He
Besides,
says
let the hate flow
yes,
through you.
Let the hate flow through you. And she's like, boom, no, I'm magical. White light, shine bright. Yeah, I thought that was sort of how that was going to go. And he withers away into the shadows. And then the new cute prince brings on an air of peace and prosperity.
Well, technically, he does take over for the Emperor, and the Emperor just kind of gets sidelined, though, so it wasn't a big
it was
thing.
Very much like I thought he was going to be a big player, and he just was not an active thing in Season 2. But yeah, I liked Season 2. I liked how they leaned into the romance more. I liked that they were pushed into it a little bit by the prince, and he sort of saw that their bond needed to be stronger in the future, so it added like an element of pushing her out of her comfort zone, which I liked. But I just want to say, throw it out there, I was not that happy with the ending. I feel like it was kind of irresponsible of Lord Kudo to retire, even though Bello normally has the take of, simple things in life and live a quiet life and that's fulfilling, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, duty is heavier than a mountain. Death is lighter than a feather. You have a responsibility. You're alive. Get your ass back on the battlefield. Kill some grotesqueries.
Well, to be fair, a lot of their grotesqueries were coming from the cult following.
That was following Usui, right? And Usui dies.
Yeah, and they've pretty much taken out those people, more or less, and they took out the big bad. So, as far as, like, the leader, so, I mean, cut the head off the snake kind of thing. But also, he didn't just leave without a replacement. He had Guro, I don't remember his name.
The cute little guy, yeah.
Replace him. So, it wasn't like his post was left empty, which they even mention in the show, you can't just leave it empty.
I just wasn't happy with the transition. Like, it was like, yeah, he led in their stead, but it felt like there wasn't enough about that and him taking over. I don't know. I definitely feel like Season 3, there's going to be something to pull him out of retirement.
Oh,
if
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's got to be conflict of some sort that's going to make him have to fight again. He's not going to just get to be happy with Mio and it be a quiet, peaceful life from here on. That, unless the show ends now, that is not how it's going to go. That's never how it goes.
Yeah. Enter Emperor Palpatine, Season 3. Like, we weren't ready for the big bad.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's possible, but... And for me, I liked the whole storyline around Usui. Obviously, he was a really bad person, but I did feel for him because Sumi was his everything, and he was never hers.
She was his humanity.
Well, but I mean, like, she was the reason for everything that he did, who he was, why he grew, why he became strong.
Wasn't the reason for everything he did.
Well, no.
He definitely tortured little animals and stuff.
No, I mean after her. I'm saying everything good that he became and what he strove for and what his future was supposed to be revolving around her, and that was his plan. And then she was gone, and it messed him up. It drove him nuts. And I do feel for him.
He's already nuts, I feel like. When you take a dam from out in front of a river, what's it going to do? Flood everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what happened. He went a little crazy. I did like at the end that once he did die, he did go with Sumi peacefully and happily, and they got to be together, and that was nice for me. I often do not like when a story's happy ending is going to heaven after living through hell. That's not a happy ending to me. I'm sorry, but it's not. But for him, I felt like it was. His being without her, not understanding the world, not being able to do what he wanted with the world for her, all that ended, and he actually got to be with her the way that they were always meant to be. So, I was glad with the way it ended with him. Like, that it showed that when he was dying, he didn't just die, he got to go with her and be with her again.
Yeah, I guess it was good. I liked all of that whole storyline with Usui and
I think
Sumi.
that's how you say it.
And, yeah, I liked all that with them. But I don't know how I feel about the bad guy doing terrible things and getting to be reunited with his lost love. But you know what? We're all messed up. We all do terrible things. Maybe we all deserve forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and the wages that sin pays is death. Something that I kept saying while we were watching it from the beginning, because you pretty much meet his mom in the beginning. As bad as Kyoka's and his mom's relationship was, I thought she was a stepmom. Like, that's how bad it was. And actually even worse the more you watch it. But the whole time I was like, what a bitch. What a bitch. You know, the whole time. And then when you meet Usui, it's like, what a dick. What a dick.
Yeah, definitely got that. Love the dad, though. You can see why him and Kudo kind of clash, because the dad is all the cheer and patience and understanding that sort of attempts to balance out the mom. He was born with his responsibility and takes it in stride, whereas she takes it all very seriously and their life's work and who their family is and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do think it served the purpose very well of being an example of how the average person would, beyond a doubt, completely understand Mio being like, screw you, you're a bitch, and I'm leaving. And Kudo would go with her.
Yeah, happily.
After setting his home on fire. Like, you know what I mean? And the average person would be like, yes, that is deserved.
That's the appropriate reaction.
Applause. Quiet applause. But it illustrates the fact that Mio is above and beyond an empathetic person who tries to understand people, wants to forgive people, wants to see the good in people, far and above the average person.
Oh, yeah.
And she still manages to find the good in his mother and see the humanity in her. And throughout the series, it's a resounding theme. Somebody else would not have been able to do what she did. Somebody else wouldn't have been able to melt Lord Kudo's ice heart. Somebody else wouldn't have been able to heal Usui to the point where he would let himself be taken out of the world and go peacefully, as much as you can call that peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And
being shot twice and
yeah,
going down.
Yeah. And sort of, in her own way, make Kudo's mom warm up to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's a resounding theme that I really appreciate throughout, that she sees the good in everyone, almost to a fault. Probably to a fault.
And I think you can see part of her growth in that, too, because I think if it would have been her at the beginning of her story, she would have just been like, oh, I'm so sorry, and left. You know what I mean? But she had grown stronger and dedicated to Kudo and more confident in herself, I guess.
Right.
And so that did show. I was going to mention, too, that we kind of made fun of her when she was, I don't, you know what I mean? Over and over and over again. Just not being sure of herself and that kind of thing. And later, when she stops doing that, you do notice it because it's constant from the first season through the second season.
Right.
Her doing that and never being sure of herself or what she's going to say, her apologies and stuff like that. But
right.
Anyway.
And I appreciated that a lot as well. I had forgotten about that, but I did.
So I rated it a 7. I did not like it as much as the first one. I liked seeing their romance bloom and her grow in that. And I guess I like the Cinderella story better. I don't know. I just didn't like what it became as much in the second one. Like I said, I did rate it a 7, so it was still good. I did still like it. I would still watch a season 3 if they come out with another one, for sure. What about you, Bella?
I probably would put it about the same, 7.5, something like that.
7.5 from Bello!
Without the ending, with him just retiring. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's my salty midlife millennial American self that's like, you don't deserve to retire at 20-something.
Yeah.
You should be going to work. Like, how dare you privileged rich boy, get to retire and live a quiet life with the love of your life? Like, this is not a good ending. So maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe that's me.
Jelly.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'm just a jealous, cynical millennial. But without the ending, it probably would have been quite a bit higher. Maybe at 8.5.
Dang, that really brought it down for you, huh?
Yeah, I just really did not appreciate it. Like, how dare you? There is stuff to be done, sir.
Yeah. But, yeah, I already said my piece on that. And it is nice that he's able to do that, but we all know that he's not actually going to be able to do that. But just having the option for someone from an average or below income, just having that option to quit working, to just stop working and live happily and peacefully, quietly, do whatever the hell you want.
Write some poetry.
Yeah, it's unheard of. It's not possible. You know what I mean? I'm going to die working.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it's a sad reality of this capitalist scape that we live in now. But, you know, fantasy. It's a fantasy show. And happy endings and stuff.
I will say that traditionally, much of fantasy and fairy tales do not have happy endings. I mean, unless you're a princess or a prince.
Well, you know.
Little Red Riding Hood, yeah, you got 8 too.
But she got taken out of the belly. She got cut out of there. And then they stuffed him with stones, I think. That's the way I remember it. So I guess that's it for us, folks.
Yibbity yibbity.
All right. Bye-bye then.
See you later.